The new beta map for Apocalypse Racing 2 has recently been released and come with other new locations that were never seen before. Regardless of the mixed reviews as displayed by the community, as well as my overall indifference but lenient to negative review of the update, in this video, I'll be listing down the new locations featured in the beta map, rating how much loot you could gain from the place and how well made the area is. From the ranger station to military relay, from truck stop to Ashland suburbs, we have an interesting set of new locations in this update. If you like the video, please like and subscribe to support the channel. And no more delays, let us now take a look at the Apocalypse Racing 2 beta map new locations. Enjoy! Before the actual showcase of the new locations, let us first introduce the beta map. The beta map is divided into 3 main islands. These are the islands of Halsey, Faris, and Mackinaw. They replace Barkley Island to Mackinaw Island since a volcano has been removed from the map. Ever more strangely, there are no more secondary islands like Lulu or Albatross Islands, but there are little tertiary islands that can be seen. With that said, these 3 main islands have new locations in all of them, with 2 of them even being renamed, like the power plant becoming geothermal power plant or the prison into military prison. These would not be called as new locations. Furthermore, there is a hybrid being the lighthouse, which was supposed to be a part of Lockport, but we can still review it. Now, let's begin with Halsey Island. There are 6, maybe 7 new areas on Halsey Island. These include military relay, lumberyard, ranger station, fishing grounds, Ashton suburbs, and the water treatment plant, or the lighthouse. The fishing grounds is a new location left most of Halsey Island. It does not have any good loot at all, and there's nothing much here. It is a fishing ground that has houses that are structured on the water, and plenty of docks. I rate the loot of this place a disappointing F tier. There's nothing significant here, but I would like to rate how well made the area is as an opinion B-, since there were never existed fishing grounds, and I like how the houses are built on the water as a tropical feeling. The military relay is a new location at the bottommost of Halsey Island. It only has decent loot and nothing too special in the place, despite being a military campsite. It only has 3 buildings, being the barracks, a military hut, and the garage. Decent loot can be found in the armory in the barracks. You could find yourself an automatic in there that uses 5.56. Anyways, I rate the loot of this place maybe a C tier, or maybe a B, since I could find loot somewhere better, but I rate how well made the area is as a C+ tier, since for being a military campsite, it does not really look that impressive, being only 3 buildings, and somehow it is listed on the map. The lumberyard is a new location that is a few walks away from military relay, almost at the center of Halsey Island. There's some good decent loot in here, especially the military tents, and most ironic is that I feel that the place has much better loot than that of the military relay. You can check the tents and you can check the lumberyard itself, and there should be a guarantee to find some good enough loot in here. The place is a lumber place, so logs and lumber are expected here, with the main building in the center, which looks really unique. I rate the loot of this place as a solid B tier, a little better than the military relay, and it is because of the military tents in the place, and rate how well made the area is as a guarantee B+ tier. The place is unique enough to be on the map, and I like how diverse the area is, since everything is spread out. The ranger station is a new location that is a few walks away from either fishing grounds or the lumberyard, between them and Halsey Island. There's nothing much in here really, just 2 buildings, and it is the warehouse and the ranger cabin. Nothing much except these gun lockers, which should guarantee attachments and guns and ammo, but overall, it is not worth coming here unless you start afresh and is close by. I would like to rate the ranger station as a C tier, since you can always find better loot close by, like Beaufort. And I rate how well made the area is as a C+, since I do like how the ranger station look. And most ironic is that There is no ranger tower, and it does not need to be added to the map. The lighthouse is a new, maybe not new, location a few walks away from Ashland, rightmost of Halsey Island. The loot of the place is nothing worthwhile coming here for, since it is just a landmark that was supposed to be from Lockport, but separated to be. There's no guaranteed good or any loot at all in the place, and coming here for such would be disappointing. I would like to rate the loot of the place as a disappointing F, similar to the fishing grounds, and a disappointing C- in terms of how well made the area is. This is just a reused asset, and somehow it became a landmark that is worthy to be on a map. Overall, the worst place to be in all of Halsey Island. Ashland Suburbs is a new location to the left and a few walks away from Ashland, still found on Halsey Island. There's even more decent loot here compared to the previously mentioned places. Since this place is, as stated, a suburb, the loot can be diverse from military loot in the tents or even some civilian supplies in the houses. The place is a suburb part of Ashland, and therefore, it has many civilian houses and some military presence, and most interestingly, the Hastings house can be found here, making this area somehow a replacement for the disappearance of Hastings, considering I believe that Hastings was a solid A in ratings in terms of loot and how well made the place is. I would like to give Ashland Suburbs as a solid A as well, just a solid place to be in Halsey Island, and as a bonus, you could find people on Ashland if you like. The water treatment plant is a new location a few weeks away from either Beaufort or Fairview, which is the topmost of Halsey Island. The loot in this place is actually better than decent, as it is better than any other place, and or par or less with Ashland Suburbs. There are more military tents outside, and some good enough stuff inside, and a few walks away from the place is a Soviet camp with a crashed submarine, with even more military tents, which is great for loot farming whenever you try to circle around from either the cities of Beaufort and Fairview. I rate the place as a solid A in terms of loot. You could have a guaranteed AK in the place, whether it is a special rare ones or a regular AK. As for how well made the area is, I would like to give it as an A as well, since it is something new or an original place that sure makes sense being on the map. Let us now move on to the next island, Faris, and there are only 4 new locations in it. These are the JROTC Camp, Casino, Truck Stop, and Magnolia. JROTC Camp is a new location, a few walks away from either Magnolia or Naval Air Station in Faris Island, a military campsite for a junior army reserve, and sadly, there's nothing much here either. Despite being a military camp, you would think there are some guns and ammo in here, but not that much, considering there are only camp buildings, but no military tents. So this is more of a civilian place than a military, and now looking at it, this place looks like campgrounds with a military skin. Nothing much of a loot in the place, and somehow, these reused assets are worthy to be on a map. Considering I rated campgrounds as a D tier, I would like to give our JROTC camp as a C tier, since at least there's an effort to make everything reskinned. In my opinion, the worst place to be in Faris Island. The truck stop is a new location in the middle between Junkyard, Salem, or even the Naval Air Station in Faris Island. The place is a truck stop with the expected buildings, such as gas stations, warehouses, diner, and even a little junkyard with broken down trucks. The loot is varied, actually good since you can have yourself supplies including car parts, but unfortunately, there are no guaranteed guns in the place. Since it is a civilian area, I would like to rate the loot of the place as a B tier, since it is only civilian supplies, and a solid A in terms of how well made the area is. It makes sense to be on the map. The buildings are unique, there's never a truck stop except gas stations. Overall, it is a great area in my opinion. Magnolia is a new location that is a few walks away directly from GROTC camp in Faris Island, and it is easily the best new location for this beta map update. It has everything in it: civilian and military loot, there are military tests by the port, a gun shop at the side, some supplies in the buildings. The place is literally perfect for everything, especially knowing that we do not have a big urban area during Alpha except of Ashland. There's not much to be said here since you can visit the area and look into yourself. It literally is the best add-on in the update so far. Great for PvP, great for loot farming, and overall great everything. I would like to rate Magnolia as a solid A+ in loot and aesthetics. There simply is no contest. It is not only the best location in Faris Island, but the entire beta map. Casino is a new location that is a few walks away from either Magnolia or the GROTC camp, still in Faris Island, and to be honest, this is simply just a mid-location to be. Nothing too much as everything is decent, and apparently it is also a random event that there would spawn a helicopter with some VIP zombies and loot, some supplies from the bar and some occasionally few ammo from the dead zombies that spawned there. There's also this one spot a little walk away from the casino, and it has itself actual guns and ammo. It is like an outpost that is technically not within a casino, but take it or leave it. I would like to rate the casino as a B tier in loot and an A tier of aesthetics, since I do not know why would there be a casino in the middle of nowhere and not within the city, but it does look pretty. Lastly, we have the last island, Mackinaw Island, which has 3 new locations. These are the swamps, Cargo Shipwreck, and the grain elevator. The grain elevator is a new location nearing either Eden or Lockport in Mackinaw Island. And to be honest, this place is as mid as it can be. Similar to the GRTC camp, this place seemed to be a reskin of an alpha location with a believed to be Buford farmland, where there's a farming warehouse by a gas station there. The loot is nothing too special and not too common, but there should be something at the top. The place is absolutely not worth mentioning in the map, like it is in a very important area, especially that it is close by the truck stop. It is overshadowed. I rate the loot of the place as a C and the aesthetics as a B, clearly to be the overall loser of Mackinaw Island. The swamps is a new location that is near the mansion in Mackinaw Island, what I think to be the most creative place to be, to have another biome in the game. But also similar to the name, everything is dead here. It is not necessarily a bad thing since it is all about aesthetics. There are swamp houses here and there and they give you some loot, but not really the best ones. But there's one specific house in these tertiary islands which guarantees the new Soviet gun, so that's already a plus point. Anyways, making this short and brief, and I would like to rate that swamps as a sure B tier in loot, and an A tier on how well made the area is. And it is similar to the casino of the question why it exists, but it looks pretty, despite being dead, so best not to question it. Seemingly the best clear winner in Mackinaw Island. Cargo Shipwreck is a new location that is near the power plant or coastal bunkers in Mackinaw Island. From afar, the area looks absolutely amazing, since the place looks gigantic, especially if you could only see the tip of it from afar. But seeing it up close, sadly it is not the best thing in the beta map, especially with how much and what kind of loot you could gain from here. Nothing too game breaking in my opinion. How well made the place carry the ratings in this, we never have a shipwreck location before, except the destroyed shipwreck. Instead of being a military site, this time, this cargo shipwreck is a civilian site. This would be the last new location that I'm citing, and I sure rate it as a C+ tier in loot and an absolute A in aesthetics. Very conflicting ratings here in Mackinaw Island. Anyways everyone, that has been the Apocalypse Rising 2 beta map new locations, and it was not really that well made now that I think about it, since the video is highly opinionated and not really that thorough, but sadly, I'm busy with life as always and I would love to make a much tour video sometime soon. With the beta update, Apocalypse Rising 2 has entered a new stage on its development before the final release, with much more intrigue by the community. As mentioned before, the update has mixed reviews. However, it seems that it will grow on people over time. What do you think, everyone? Is this beta update to Apocalypse Rising 2 any good? Do tell in the comment section below. As for the moment, farewell everyone and have a great day.